Welcome to the practical part of our computer science programming topic. Throughout these video lessons, you're going to learn how to code in Python. Each video is going to show you a different tool that you can incorporate into your code, and it will get more complex as we go along. So let's begin. In our first lesson, which is lesson 0, we're going to install Python, get PyCharm running, and look at how we navigate around PyCharm and how we actually put our code in there. So to begin, we're going to go to the website python.org. Once you've loaded up the website, you'll see that there's a download option at the top here. Now, when you scroll over the download button, you'll see there's all the different platforms you can download it for. It should by default over here say the version you need, and the current one whilst recording this video is version 3.11.2. It's always good to have the latest version running when we do these videos. So we're going to click on that one there, which should bring us up to a download screen, and we can click save, and that'll start downloading that file. Once it downloads, I'll get you to open it up. It'll come up with an install screen. Now mine has popped up with an upgrade, and that's because I already have Python installed. And so I'm just going to click upgrade, but yours will look somewhat similar where you click install and it will go through and start installing all the libraries and things we need to get Python running. Now we use two softwares. We use Python and we also use PyCharm. So Python is the language we're going to be coding in, but PyCharm makes it nice and easy for us to code. It gives us sort of a nice user interface that we can put our code in and then run Python in the background. So we do need both installed in order to actually code with Python. So this one will take a second and it will finish. And once it finishes, it'll say setup is successful and we can close out of that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to download PyCharm. Now PyCharm can be found at the website jetbrains.com/PyCharm. There's two versions that are here for download. So if you click on this download button here in the middle, it'll bring you to this site which has a community version and a professional version. Now we don't want to use the paid version, we're going to use the free version. If you're on a Mac or a Linux computer, you might want to click on these options and download the one for your computer. But because I'm on a Windows machine, I'm going to click download here, which will bring me to this page and it will save to my computer. This is a bit of a bigger file size, so it'll take a minute to actually download. But once you have that file, go ahead and start the installation process. So now that that's downloaded, we can click on this next button and just go through and install PyCharm onto your computer. I've already got it installed, so it says, do you want to uninstall the old version? And I'll just click next and next to follow on with what you're doing. You don't need to worry about any of these extra things. This one is not bad to do. It means if you open a Python file, it'll open in PyCharm. So I normally click that one, but the rest of it is fine. Just click next through, and this one will install. Once it's finished installing, you should be able to open up PyCharm. Now that that's finished, click on the Run PyCharm Community Edition button and then hit Finish. This should open up PyCharm. Now that PyCharm has opened up, you're going to see it's going to add a location to your computer. So here's mine. This also, at the end of it, has the name you would like to create your project in. So we're just going to call this Computer Science. And you'll see down here, yours should say Python 3.11/python.exe. If it doesn't say it, you might be able to click down and find it. And if you don't have that at all, that means you haven't installed Python properly. You may need just to restart your computer. You may need to download it again, but that's essentially just saying it can't find the version of Python we just installed. If you have an older version in there, like a 3 point something, that'll be fine too, but nothing less than 3. So once you've got that, click on Create. And it should bring you to a blank version of PyCharm. Now the last thing we're going to do in this video is just have a bit of a look around and some useful tips and tricks that I would normally do. First thing you can see, there's going to be tabs at the top. So every time you make a new project, it appears like a tab at the top here, and you can go and close out of this main.py. We're not going to use that one, so you can just close that one. Now, a couple of things to take note of. Whenever we run code, there is a play button over here, and if you hit that play button, it'll run your code within the PyCharm program. It'll run the code that's in this area just here. So you can see it'll run whichever one you've got there. If you set it to current file, it'll run the current one that you're looking at. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see you've got your directory. Now, this directory is from the computer science directory that you made earlier. If you right-click on computer science and go down to Open in and then Explorer or Finder, depending on your version, you'll see that it'll open up and it will look something like mine. Now you might only have one project in there. The more projects you have, the more it'll fill up. But this directory here mirrors what's over here, or the other way around, should I say. This mirrors what's here. So if I was to go into computer science and make a new folder called my stuff and push enter, and then go over here, you see my stuff has now appeared. And so these two sort of work together. If you're looking to find a file, maybe you need to upload it to Sector, or for whatever reason, you can just right click on that specific file and say open in Explorer, and it will appear here. Now the other thing that we're going to look at is how to make a new Python file. So if you right click anywhere in here, maybe even at the bottom, I think, yeah, you can click on the bottom too, and then go to new, you'll see there's loads of different files we can make. Now, if you do some of these ones, they're just going to be blank, but we're going to click on Python file, and you'll see it comes up and has, Python file and so on, and it says give it a name. We're just going to call this one test and push enter. And you'll see test has now appeared. It's a blank file, and if I click play over on my current file, nothing happens because it's blank. So that's the end of this first video. This should get you up and running with Python. It'll get you Python installed and PyCharm installed and give you some basic navigation for the next videos. Thank you for listening. See you in lesson 1.